Hey everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. Today we're going to talk about Jupiter in the fifth house of your horoscope. Understand what is Jupiter? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the characteristics of Jupiter, the different aspects of Jupiter, and Jupiter itself. So let's talk about what is Jupiter. So Jupiter is an older planet. Jupiter is considered a teacher, a guru, a mentor. Okay, so Jupiter is connected with being dharmic because it owns house 9 and house 12 in the Kalpurush Kundali. So house 9 is your father, is your dharma, it's your spirituality, it's your foreign travel, your long distance travel. So Jupiter definitely rules all of that. The father, the foreign travel, or the long distance travel, the spirituality, the higher studies, PhD level studies, because it's a guru, it's a teacher, it's a mentor. So that's what Jupiter is. Jupiter is also all about ethics, integrity, meditation. Okay. Jupiter is a planet of expansion. Okay. It provides expansion for, in the sense, it provides you good benefits from your children. It gives you good children. If Jupiter is benefic for your horoscope, you'll have good children. You'll have good partners, whether in business or in life. You'll have good real estate, good property, good family, good mother, good father, good mentors, teachers. Okay, so Jupiter, as long as it's benefic for your horoscope, you should see all those things in your life. Okay, Jupiter is a very ethical planet. If you see Jupiter sitting on a house, most likely that house is going to be very ethical and very integrity oriented home, unless there's malefic influences on that house, such as Rahu either sitting with it or aspecting it, or Shani, Saturn, sitting with it or aspecting it, or Mars, etc. So those kind of influences then will tag on, or Ketu. So Jupiter is also a very righteous planet. Okay, it is considered more like a saint. So, and it's considered a lazy planet also. It does bestow lots and lots of prosperity. So if it's aspecting a certain house and that house is connected with wealth somehow, you can be sure you'll get wealth. Again, as long as there are no associations in that house. So let's talk about the aspects of the house. What aspects does Jupiter have? And then we'll go into the house that the Jupiter is sitting in. So the fifth aspect, Jupiter has 3 aspects. It has the fifth aspect from its house, from where it's sitting in, and then it has a 7th aspect from where it's sitting in, and then it has a 9th aspect from where it's sitting in. So we'll talk about the fifth aspect. Fifth aspect of Jupiter is considered one of the best aspects. So if you think about fifth house in the Kalpurush Kundali, fifth house is considered the house of your past life good deeds. So when Jupiter is placing that fifth aspect on the fifth house from where it's sitting, it is giving you that blessing based on your past good deeds that you have done. So you care for that house like your child, and that house may also care for you like you are its child. So that's one of the best aspect to have, because that's an aspect that you get without doing anything, without lifting a finger. You get that because you're bringing it from your past life's good deed. The second aspect that you get is 7th aspect from where it's sitting. Now that aspect is basically a give and take. So if you give good in that relationship, you get good back. But you want that aspect to be really good. So Jupiter blessing it helps you. If you want that aspect to be good, then Jupiter is going to help you. For example, if you have that aspect on your 7th house, if you're going to give good to your kids, if you're going to be nice to them, if you're going to treat them well, they're going to treat you well. They may still treat you well regardless because of Jupiter's 7th aspect. But can you imagine if you treat them well, they're going to treat you so much better? So that's kind of like your 7th aspect. Now, if there's malefic influences, things will change. Now, 9th aspect, Jupiter has a 3rd aspect, which is the 9th aspect from it, from where it's sitting. Now, that is your life's topmost goal, is kind of what you feel. But Jupiter is always blessing it. Okay. So that will seem like a struggle for you in your life, that it's struggle. This is something I can't get lifted up. So let's say, for example, if that aspect is on your 7th house, okay, you may feel like relationship with your spouse, or 7th house is also business. Business feels like a struggle. But eventually Jupiter is going to bless you where that relationship can take off. It can become good for you, but it's going to require struggle from you. It's going to require a lot of effort from you. You have to really want to do it. And then Jupiter will help, will give its blessing. You can't just sit there and say, I'm not going to do anything with this aspect. Well, then Jupiter's not going to be able to, it can only give so much blessings to it, right? Now, again, if there's anything malefic in your horoscope, if Jupiter is a functional malefic, those things will take time. Jupiter is still a very benefic planet because that's its innate nature. It's going to be benefic to you. So those are the aspects. All right, let's talk about Jupiter in the 5th house. So what is house 5? House 5 is your past life good deeds, because your soul enters this world through house 5. So that's your past life good deeds. It is also a house of your children, your self-expression, your romance, your love. It is a house of your knowledge, the kind of knowledge that you have. It's not your childhood education and all that. It's the knowledge that you have. So you can see 5th house represents a lot of things. Okay. It also represents a upper part of your belly. Okay. So above your belly button. So if you have any kind of pain, any kind of things in that part, you can see that in terms of your house 5, any kind of malefic associations, etc. with that. So that's house 5. So when Jupiter sits in house 5, what does it do? Well, the house that it sits on, it does affect that house a little bit, in the sense that you may lose some qualities of that house. So maybe your relationship with your children may not be as good as you expect it to be. Now, again, if Jupiter's extremely benefic for your horoscope, this effect would be a little bit lesser. But if Jupiter is not benefic for your horoscope, it's either neutral or functionally malefic, which we can see after we look at your horoscope, this effect would be more. So there could be some issues with children in terms of the guru-ness, in terms of teacher aspect, in terms of, they may consider themselves more knowledgeable, and you may have that back and forth there with your children. So again, it could create issues with you gaining knowledge. Perhaps you think you know everything and you don't really need to know anything else, those kind of things. So Jupiter in house 5 will give you those type of things, even with your romance, with your love. You can have that issue with your love and romance, that who's superior, that kind of superiority complex or things like that. So the house it sits in, usually it creates issues with that house. But the aspects that Jupiter has are the best. The 5th aspect that Jupiter is going to place is going to be on your 9th house. What is 9th house? 9th house is a house of father, guru, teachers. It's also spirituality, higher studies. It's also your dharma, your religion. It is long distance travel, those kind of things. It is also your thighs. So Jupiter sitting in 5th house, by the way, I forgot to mention, 5th house is also sports. So you may consider yourself a teacher in some aspect when it comes to sports, etc. So the 5th aspect, like I said, is one of the most benefic aspects that you get because you've done some really great past life deeds. Okay, so when that 5th aspect is on its 9th house, you get your father, you get your gurus and teachers in your life because of good past life deeds that you've done. So you eventually end up treating them like as people love their children, because house 5 is children, and 5th aspect of Jupiter is going to be like that, like you love your children. So Jupiter is going to bestow its best blessings on the fifth house from it. In this case, it's going to be on the house of father. You may treat your father like you treat your children. You may treat your gurus like that, which means with so much love. Okay. You may treat your religion like that. You really follow your religion, your dharma, your righteousness. You have the righteousness inside you. Like anything, you're going to be the most ethical person. Okay. If you have the fifth aspect on your ninth house, you may be the most spiritual. Spiritual is what? Loving everybody, loving humanity. You may have that love inside your body. You may be one of the most spiritual people. Regardless of whether you tell people you're spiritual or not, you're actually a spiritual person, a very good, ethical, loving person. You love to travel, long distance travels. You love to travel, especially when it's sitting in the fifth house, aspecting the ninth house with its fifth aspect. Your travels are actually good also. Jupiter's blessing your long distance travel. So if you go long distance to travel, Jupiter blesses it. Maybe you end up loving that place wherever you travel. Okay, you would have good memories in those places. So that's kind of like, that's the fifth aspect of Jupiter on the ninth house. Let's talk about the next aspect, which is going to be on your 11th house. So Jupiter is going to ensure that let's talk about what is 11th house. It is higher income, desires, achievements, successes in your life, awards, recognition. It is your social network. It's your friend circle. It's going to be your networking, your BNI groups. Could be through work, could be through friends, family. It is also your father's younger siblings. It is your older siblings as well. So when Jupiter places its seventh aspect, it's basically giving extra blessings. In what you give, you're going to get. So if you work hard in your work, whatever you're doing, you're going to get higher income back. If you work for rewards, for successes, for recognition, then if you do that kind of work, you're going to get that back. You will get recognized for the work that you are doing. You will. Older siblings, if you give your older siblings the love and respect, you're going to get that back from them. Many folds. Because of that seventh aspect, you're going to get it back many folds. You got to give it from your good heart. Same thing with your social network. You want to do things for your older siblings. You want to do things to increase your higher income. You want to do things for your friends. Those are the things that you want to do from your heart. You want to do it. So those are good things. Now let's talk about the last aspect, which is on house 1. It's a ninth aspect. That's going to be one of the most struggling one. All of your life, you're going to want to, mostly you get the desire to fix that house after the age of 40-ish. So, but you get a really good desire to fix that. It could be even 45. But it usually comes later on in your life that you're like, oh, I really got to do something for that house too. So in this case, that aspect is on you, yourself. So after the age of 40, 45, you start to do things for yourself also, because you're such a good person. You start to do things for yourself. Perhaps you want to go and do the particular thing that you want to do for your body, let's just say. Let's say you want to get your hair curled up because they're straight, because that you think is going to make you look nice. You go do that. You go start to spend time with yourself. You start to learn yourself more. You like to start to spend time with yourself more, because that is the ninth aspect of Jupiter going on your house 1. So those are the aspects. And please write in the comments if you have Jupiter sitting in your 5th house and this is kind of what you're seeing in your life too. I would love to read those. And if you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Please go ahead and write them in the comments. And don't forget to hit subscribe to the channel. We do offer personal consultations. So if you'd like to click on the link in the description, we'd love to get back to you on that. And we'd love to give you a personal consultation. But don't forget to hit the bell icon because you don't want to miss out on any of these new videos that we do. And please hit like and thumbs up, and we'd love if you share these videos. Thank you.